All right, hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan, and today we're back for another trading stream. Hopefully you are all doing well. I've had a great day. It is St. Patrick's Day today, so obviously depending where you are, you might celebrate or not. Obviously I have a very nice drink in here, of which I shall not say. And a very nice Binance cup, so shout out to Binance as well actually, because we haven't actually shown us a stream yet. If it can't, there we go, perfect. The little Binance cup. So happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody who does celebrate it. If you don't celebrate it, happy Monday, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully you've had a great rest of, or hopefully you've had a great day, so far. Or if you're, just waking up, hopefully you will have a great rest of your day. Anyway, very good for the charts. Obviously we didn't, haven't been too long in between both of my previous streams, or my previous stream today anyway. So what I have kind of said last stream, has kind of played out pretty nicely. So I'm glad for that. So if you were here last stream, you'll know what I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm kind of being a bit, not mysterious about it. I don't know why. It's just us coming back down to the equilibrium. I'll look at it when we go to the charts. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good day. I need some water actually. I need to freshen up and get ready for this. Okay. I'm not going to dilly-dally, all right? I'm going to remember to put the timer on this time, because... there we go. I've got a very nice background as well. I got some, greenery and stuff, because I don't really know what to do. I thought, you know what, I need to do something. I can't really put a hat on. I don't have any hats or filters I could put on myself. So I thought I'd get a nice little background with some, greens and whatnot. So, yes, anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Let's look at some percentages, though. 4% up 7 day. Obviously, that's pretty usual. Obviously, we're coming up into the equilibrium so far anyway. It's 24 hour, 0.13%. So we have retraced. So what I said on Friday. Excuse me. What I said on Friday was we were going to kind of come into it and come into the equilibrium, find a resistance point within the area, and then come back down to the support points or support areas within where we were. Excuse me. I've got a lot of hiccup, windish that needs to get out of me. I don't want to do it into the microphone. I should probably say hello to everybody. I'm going to look at percentages and say hello to everybody in a second. But what I basically said was we're going to come into equilibrium, find resistance points within it, either at the high of the equilibrium or on the lower ranges have a high point, which we do have on Bitcoin, at least I know of anyway, which I will look at in a second, and then retrace back down towards equilibrium on the outer rim, find support there. My kind of reckon was, my kind of estimation was, okay, what I think we can do, I think we'll retrace back towards support points to try and test the support, and then go back upwards again, Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. So if you were here on Friday, you might remember my my long positions and where they were placed. We have retraced back into them, which is nice. So yeah, but anyway, actually, you know what, I'll say hello first. I'll say hello first to everybody. Give me a second, let me just get up. Evening to Hidden Gems, shout out to you. Tariq, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. I'm not welcome. Obviously, I know you've been in the streams before. I say two things. If I don't recognize someone, I say welcome, but I say thank you for being here. I guess. I want to delineate. Kishan as well, the goat. Thank you for being here. KB, even to you. Let me scroll down a tiny bit more. Shiva, hello. And Chipper, thank you for being here. Appreciate you all. Let me move that to the side so I can actually see my screen. Perfect. Okay, let's go to some percentages. So, like I said, 0.11% 24 hour. Again, that's to be expected. Obviously, we came up and then we came down again. Basically, right back to where we were at the kind of breakout point. Not breakout point, but at the resistance we had, which we kind of broke, and now we've come above. We're now kind of coming back towards that area of support. So 1% 1 hour kind of makes sense, and then obviously 0.1% on the 24 hour. Because again, we've kind of come back, like I said, but we're still doing positive. We're still doing well. 24 hour and 1 hour though, very interesting here. Both of them are the exact same percentages, which is quite cool. So obviously the new hour was 5 minutes ago, so some pre-active movement. But anyway, 1990. I should probably say actually 83,600 for Bitcoin. Obviously good price. We're slowly going up, which is nice. 1924 Ethereum though. Again, obviously if you've looked at my stream or you saw my stream Friday, sorry, you'll know my kind of thoughts on Ethereum and the additional difficulty I think we have for Ethereum as opposed to Bitcoin. Solana's also in a bad case. If I had to rank it, I think it was Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum. I think that's what I ranked on Friday. I think I did the opposite order: Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin for difficulty wise. So I do think we have a bit of difficulty for Ethereum, which obviously I will go over again in a bit, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. But anyway, like I said, 1.3% up Ethereum percent, 24 hour and 1 hour, 4.8% down 7-day. Obviously, if you looked at the stream or if you've just been looking at Ethereum in general, we had quite a bit of retracement. Obviously, as opposed to Bitcoin and Solana, where they had big support points at like 140 for Solana or 130 for Solana, and then Bitcoin had obviously different high points and equilibriums, 79, 78 and whatnot, and we've retraced quite nicely from those positions. Ethereum had a bit more of a difficult time with some resistance levels, and we've kind of come below quite a few of them, so we're going to have a bit more of a difficult time for Ethereum, I think, in my opinion anyway, because again, all this is opinion, no financial advice. Do bear that in mind. And then Solana, 127. I don't know where we were exactly for Solana on Friday. I think we've come down a tiny bit more. I think, oh no, where were we? I don't think we were at 140. I can't remember. We'll have a look. I don't think we were. I think this is kind of the same position we were in anyway. So I don't know if we're any lower. We might be a tiny bit lower. I don't know. But 127 anyways. 1.3 in the 1 hour. So again, similar movements to Bitcoin as well. And again, that's kind of what I was saying on Friday. Bitcoin and Solana, I think, are going to have a bit more of an easy time than Ethereum, and I think they're going to kind of move more similar than Ethereum, because again, Ethereum is in a pretty tricky situation, I think, in terms of we've fallen a bit lower and we've come below some important areas, in my opinion, for Ethereum. So I think it's going to give us a bit more of a difficult time, like I've already said. So yeah, again, I don't really care about the rest of this, like winners and losers. Yeah, like shout out to these guys, whatever. Let's just go on to the charts. So this is Bitcoin on the 4 hour. I'll show the resistance we had here. We have this resistance point here, which we found of difficulty, which is what stopped us before getting to equilibrium, and now we've come down a bit towards this area, nearing the equilibrium point. If we go to the daily, we can kind of see we've printed out, and now we're kind of coming up again. So during this process, we've had a nice, movement upwards. In Bitcoin, obviously on the daily, looks pretty nice. Obviously, I don't think this is going to exactly slow us down. And again, the resistance we had, which stopped us in this period, about 85.3, was this high point on this range here, which again isn't that much of a range. These are still good ranges. Again, like I've already talked about on Friday, you can use any range in any time frame, but obviously there will be certain time frames where it just won't look that good. But obviously, in this case, we have a really nice usage of this. And obviously, we had a very nice, come up from this. Hold on, let me not have that color. Do not like that color at all. There we go. There we go. So yeah, coming from this breaker block, I've already pointed this out quite a bit ago. Obviously, I've already talked about this movement coming below this towards the purple line, which is down here on the higher range. Then coming up, I've already talked about all this movement, and then so I kind of just want to look at this main movement, which is this equilibrium, and then this high point. So as the ranges cascade downwards and get a bit smaller, for Bitcoin, we can see it in a bit more detail. So obviously, in a bit more detail, like I said, we have this high point at 85.3 right here, which I've drawn as of this range, which is also, I think, a lower time frame kind of intercandle resistance support point, which we've already used. But again, it also coincides with this high point here, which we can see we've used twice now here. Also, obviously, resistance at the purple line, just general resistance in this area, which makes sense. Obviously, finding support at this equilibrium. So I think we're in a good position right now for Bitcoin. I don't think we're in a particularly bad situation. I don't think, we're going to see, super negativity. Obviously, if something happens in the market, then obviously things happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it brought us down. But as I see it right now, in normal price action, I still think we're in a good scenario. I expected this movement back towards this support point. I looked at Ethereum, Solana, and Bitcoin, and I said kind of across the board, I think we're going to come to these support points down here, where I think you can get into another long. I haven't drawn one on Bitcoin, but I have one on Solana and Ethereum, and they both kind of had the same movement, where they've all kind of come back down towards support areas, which was kind of, just below us. And I think we're going to continue onwards from up here. I've got like these hiccups, and I don't want to do it into the microphone because it's not going to be very nice. But yeah, it's hard. It literally just breaks my speech completely. So anyway, let me go back into it. Yeah. So again, like I said, so as of movement we've had currently, apart from Friday, basically this period, from I covered it about 5 p.m. I covered it about here. So this is kind of the movement we've had, which is what I expected on Friday. Like I said, I expected a retracement towards support points like equilibrium. In this case, this one towards 82.5 and whatever this area. I think from here, we're going to see a bit more movement upwards. And if we look at it on surface value for Bitcoin on the 4 hour on this range, what we have directly in front of us, this is a good sign. You know, we have this very nice movement here. This is a good movement, you know, very nice high and very nice low. Breaking up above equilibrium, finally supported it really strong, obviously having resistance at this high point. So I think we're going to have good movement. I don't think we're going to have too much difficulty. And again, this range isn't one of the, if we look at this one, to be fair though, we can see daily ranges and weekly ranges and the currents of them. So we can see on the lower time frames, we realistically should be using one of the lower ranges. But if we look on the weekly range, it does kind of get close to if we had to compare all of our range numbers, the closest one is actually 6561. So again, it actually is pretty accurate. But again, like I said, it depends what time frame you're on. It will look different. So if, like I said, if we go to the weekly, we're not really going to be seeing much, you know, use of it, because it doesn't really work like that. But anyway, like I said, the higher-ish time frame equivalent range is actually the 6561. So again, doing well for Bitcoin. I think we are going to come up above this as I see it currently. In terms of the way we're moving, great support here. If anything, the low of this area is definitely going to be within this 82k area. I think we are going to come upwards. I mean, next point of interest from here, obviously getting above here, is definitely going to be 86k as well, which is going to be difficult, which I think is also one of the equilibrium points, like I've already talked about. So if I go back to this one, it is also nearing, I mean, 86k, 86.8. There's two kind of price areas, and my my main area on Friday was going to be in between 86k and 86.8 for this equilibrium. Obviously, I do think we're going to see higher than that, but again, it depends on how long you want to stay in a trade for, how long you want to, you know, consider, you know, being in Bitcoin for to see these prices, and obviously the risk of actually coming back downwards. So I think in terms of a shorter term price, I think 86k is definitely going to be one of the prices. Again, that is going to be the purple line. That's going to be a very important line, because if we can get above that and use it as support, because obviously we use it back here as well, as we can see, we use it as support. Obviously, once we flip that and print it below it, then that's not a very good sign. And then obviously coming down, printing below it, very, very, very not, you know, not good, if you will. But like I said, resistance at purple line. If we click this one, purple line, bit of resistance, and resistance at the high. So I definitely think this was a good movement. It's not like we bounced off the high and it came all the way back down to 79k for breaker blocks. I think, you know, we've had normal movement. We've had higher lows. We're at equilibrium right now, coming back up from it. I definitely think we're going to see a high above these two. We're going to slowly come back upwards. Maybe I think we might see a bounce off 86k. Maybe retrace a tiny bit, and then in our due process, as we continue onwards, have this kind of 86 print. I mean, I think we're going to go up. I don't really see much keeping us down. So all I can really say are my targets for the high points, which I think two are going to be 86.8 for the equilibrium, which is round about here for this one. Yeah, 86.8 here, and is going to be 86k for the purple line. I think those are the two most important prices and areas as I see it right now on this time frame. Obviously, we'll eventually come up. We'll see 88k. We'll see 90k. We'll see 90k for resistance. You know, we'll see all these prices. But I think in terms of local and in terms of prices, we'll actually see in the horizon. I think it's going to be those two prices personally. But yeah, I mean, I've already talked about these different equilibriums. I've talked about 88k. You know, we've got 86k, 86.8, 88k, and we've got 90k up area over here. We've got different stops to visit at. But I think for the actual strong ones, it's going to be this range, which is going to be 86.8, it's going to be 90k, and it's going to be 93.8. Those are the three main, you know, kind of split areas I have, because obviously as we come down into it, we can see you know, support points off of these areas, we can see resistance points off of these areas as well, and this obviously breaker block here. So yeah, we've used these areas previously. You know, I've already done this in different streams. We can go back and look at the different times we've printed at these areas. Obviously we have a wick below them. There's no, you know, not saying we haven't, but we have had many a time, or whatever you want to say, visits and kind of areas where we've had a decent low, whether it be exactly on this line at 93.8 or, you know, within the area as support. So I definitely think there's going to be a difficult resistance area. I'm going to delete these lines actually. I think it's going to be a resistance area, but as I've already talked about, I think these 3 lines are going to be what's going to kind of give us some difficulty on the way upwards. Apart from that, though, like I said, it's going to be, in terms of a local kind of thoughts for Bitcoin, my local thoughts for Bitcoin, it's going to be 86k and 86.8 element prices, basically. Let me read the chat, though. There's a high probability that the low is in. We need to see a clean break and close through 85k. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, obviously, in terms of 85k, I agree with we have to get above this. But for me, also personally, obviously with my ranges, let me just move this quickly. It's 86k is my important line, because that is the way the ranges work. Obviously, whether this be right or wrong, whatever, is the fact that you have to basically come up into it, and in order to have this as a low point, this be equilibrium and this be a high point, you have to kind of do something like this, basically, where you have this bounce, or you can print a bit, you can come back down and then do your thing. You know, you just have to consolidate at this area, whether it be a bounce of support. Obviously, there's been many a time where you've kind of done this and you've kind of immediately come past it, and then there's been some times where you just completely come past it and it's not even been a case. But it gets to a certain point where if you come so far past it, you're in this range. You know, if you just come and kind of have a straight line towards equilibrium, then yeah, cool. But the normal process of you know, being in another dealing range, being in the next dealing range, is this kind of slow process of coming to equilibrium. Whether you go to this liquidity void area, maybe come to the midpoint of it here. I should probably draw this. If I brought up the indicator which draws the ranges as well, and then did, I probably shouldn't bother with this because I've already got them drawn, but whatever. It takes a while for it to render everything because it's slow. There we go. So like I said, we've got these 85 free areas. Anyway, so back into these areas, like I said, is going to be these kind of, we also have these mid areas you can use as well. So it's mainly this purple area, this extension line, which is this range's extension line, which you have to come above to confirm. You can have scenarios where you wick into them and could dump, or in this case dump from them, which is something I looked at in the last kind of run we had. If I go into a higher range, was kind of where I was talking about quite a while ago. Which is why I thought we were going to come down to that area. I don't know which range it is exactly though. It might be this one. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So like I was just saying, you can have chances, or you can have moments, whatever you want to call it, where you come to these lines and have this massive wick to them, and then you kind of completely reverse from them. And there's many times you do that. It's like just some water. My voice is going. I'm having these like mini hiccups. It's just killing my voice. It's rough. It's rough. Okay, I think I'm okay now. Anyway, you have these moments. You have, you can call it a stop run, whatever you want to call it, like these kind of runs to these lines, especially on the higher ranges anyway, where if you have these kind of previous positions, obviously this one was that, so it's kind of like this complete sweep. Obviously, you can probably go back and see some of the, maybe not this one. Maybe if I go to a daily, you might see a different area. Obviously, I'm dependent on that. You have this candle in fair value gap area, to be fair, so there's probably this gap here as well, which you can see we kind of came to, but we've already filled that one, to be fair. I'm kind of just I'm not supposed to be on the daily right now. I don't need to be looking at the daily. My main point was I just want to look at this, the chance you have of doing these movements, and these are very valid movements you can do, but they don't really happen all, it's not like something that happens like every day. Obviously, we actually had this box as well. You know what? I should probably actually start drawing these properly. These areas, because these are actually pretty good areas as well. For the most part. Anyway, doesn't really matter though. I want to be on a low range than this though. Oh, you know what? I'll just use my ranges. I don't really care. So yeah, anyways, going back to what I was saying, being that purple run, so we could have a scenario where we have these two highs, and then we have a wick up into 86k, and then we dump a bit, and then maybe we come back towards 82k for the equilibrium. You know, we could do that. But I don't think that will happen. I'm really not saying that will happen. It's just a possibility. But like I said, the chance we have that, I don't think so. I think we're having a nice movement for Bitcoin. I think we're having a nice nice process for Bitcoin right now with these with this movement from this kind of low, having a nice normal movement. Yeah, I think we're doing really well for Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to stop right now. So yeah, in terms of my prices, we do have to get above 85.3. This is definitely resistance point, in terms of the current. But for me to completely say, okay, now we're coming towards 88k, now we're coming towards 90k, all these different prices, we have to get above 86k and use it as support for me to be able to say, okay, we're now in this range. And yeah, we could come towards 87k, and then maybe come back down towards 85k, and then maybe come up again, and then start to try and get above equilibrium. We have that whole thing in our future. But as I see it right now, like I said, 86k is very important. And obviously, I can't ignore this 85k area here for resistance. I can't ignore it. It is going to be the first step. So in terms of, yeah, I completely agree, KB. Like, the first step before I even think about 86k is even just getting above 85k, between 85.1 and 85.5, this area of resistance, and then we'll actually able to get towards 86k. But yeah, as I see it right now, we're in a good scenario. 86k, here we come. There we go. So that's pretty much it though. On Bitcoin, I think I can leave that. Actually, you know what? Let me look on the higher time frames. Let me just see what's going on. Maybe there's some interesting things going on. Yeah, I mean, so the higher time frames are doing well. Let's go with this one. This one's a good range. Yeah, so this one was like the wide range we had. This is like, I think it was this one actually, the one I was looking on the weekly, where we had this kind of TA stuff process thing going on. Actually, you know what? Let me look at this wider range. I've had this for a long time. This is like a monthly thing though, so I only look at this occasionally, and it doesn't really matter. I don't want all this on my screen though. I know I need to get rid of the paper trade thing, don't I? Can't be bothered. I want to see how this is doing, because my main thing was kind of coming into this range, and then we had some of these lower points on this range for these highs. Yeah, I still think 118k is the next step from this. I think what we have right now on the monthly is pretty good. We have this kind of come up into these high area. Which one was it again? Was it this one? Yeah, so we have this equilibrium bounce here, and then we're coming back down into equilibrium, finding support. Which range was it? Here we go. Yeah, we're finding support equilibrium on both of these ranges. This is the general equilibrium area. Finding support here. Obviously, the normal process can be kind of coming up, bouncing, doing this, and then proceeding, and then coming back. Maybe we even come up all the way here, or if we go to the lower range, maybe it's coming towards 118k. So it kind of a process of coming towards maybe 118-ish k, and then coming back to bounce off here, and then coming upwards. So to update, I probably should update this, because I thought we were going to bounce off this one. We instead bounced off this one. We're doing well though, to be fair. We had this wick, and then we were bouncing off it. This was going really well, but we came one step lower towards 83k instead. I still think this is in play though. I still think the general movement should be. I'm going to re-update it now though. So it's kind of this movement. I do think we've already had this bounce, so I'll probably say something like this. Maybe even to here. Considering the steps of it, but I'd rather it be that. But it might not be that. I'd rather be safe than sorry. It's what's it been so far? It's been this. It could be this, or it could be the opposite one. It could be like boom, boom, boom onto this, like bounce off here and then come upwards. But I think this is the general movement we're having on the monthly. With these kind of 118k area, wherever it was exactly, maybe 118k is about here. In this kind of slow process we've got going on. In terms of, I'm just going to draw this because I want to, and then coming up towards, this high point at 125k. It's hard to see through that. 125k is another price I have high, but this is like the widest range that you can do, like especially this one, which then obviously has 117k. We had this line, but this one's a bit different. This range, this is one of the wider ranges, so it's kind of each step up on these lines are the next step upwards. So we can see we're printing decently at 58k, then we came above and used its support, and then we obviously flipped below it and had a wick to it at 90,345. Then the next step for me is 154k. So we kind of got these ranges going upwards. But anyway, I don't look at that often. That's something I don't look at every single day. But I like to have a little update on it, just have a little look at what's going on. So anyway, like I said, to finalize my Bitcoin, I've kind of jumped all over the place. Finalize what I was saying. It's going to be this process, like I said, coming towards 85 area. If we can flip this 86 print, then we can come towards 88k equilibrium. As I see it, it could maybe we could wick towards 86k, maybe come back down, find support 84.5, and then have that process of coming towards 86k, finding a print above it, and then coming towards equilibrium up here. But again, I'm just going to draw this realistically. And then, yeah, this is what I'm expecting. There's something like this within some, you know, what's the word for it? Kind of, oh, there's a word I have. I can't get it in my head. It's like derivative. There we go. Some derivative of this. I don't know why that was so hard for me to think about. Some derivative of this sort of movement in this kind of process. I was trying to point out the main areas I have, which is 86k. Then maybe we can have a bounce off of this purple line, which we can do, you know, quite often, having these supports. Because again, you know, these are the extension lines. So what these are, so if we're in this range between 85k and 78k, this purple line is this range's extension line. So if I was to hide the higher range up, you'd still be able to see this range. So let me just try to find this range. There you go. Yeah. So you can see this is this range's line. So it's not this range's line. This is this range's line. So we can have resistance at these points, but not majoritively more so than these lines, because this is actually the range's line. So once you flip this and confirm in this range, therefore this is now going to be the support line. So you can use it as a support. So that's why I've drawn it, just to kind of clear it up. That's why I have that line there of potential. But anyway, I think we can do this. Some derivative of this, 86k, 84.5, 88.5, 86k bounce. Maybe we could go a bit lower towards somewhere in between here. This is kind of, I'm getting too far ahead. I don't know. We can go towards 91k. I think there's a 90,340 resistance. We might go to there instead. There's different lines. There's lines all over the place. It's kind of the takeaway. This is lines all over the place. I think we're going to hit off all of them. There we go. Solana. Let's go to Solana first. I'll be the chat actually before I do this. Let me see what I've got going on. Nice background color. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's quite nice. Let me look at it. Yeah, I couldn't find one. I went on Google. I was like, okay, let's just find some like green, basically. And if I kind of move out the way a bit, my camera might follow me there. You kind of got the 4-leaf clover. He's right. I swear it's a 4-leaf clover, but I swear I kept on seeing images with the 3-leaf clovers, which didn't make sense to me because. I'm gonna go over here. It didn't make sense to me because this is supposed to be obviously the 4-leaf clover and whatnot, and the lucky thing. I did not know what my hair's doing. Yeah, it's supposed to be 4-leaf clover. I kept on seeing 3-leaf clovers, which didn't make sense to me because it's supposed to be a 4-leaf clover, but whatever. Anyway, let's see. Happy Patrick's Day. Happy Patrick's Day to you as well. I looked it up. Well, I accidentally looked it up. I think he was like 417. He died. It's crazy. So long ago. Anyway, yeah, and I read this. High probability the low is in. I need to clean break and close for 85k. Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same process for me in terms of clean break and print through 85k. For me would be that would be that you know, obviously 85.5 has that upper end of the high point, but it's also 86k for me as well. That'll pass you hello to you. Let me scroll through quickly. Yeah. Anyway, not much else. Let me. That's aside. Okay, so this is Solana. I'm on quite a high range here. Oops. I shimmied it back a bit. I'm trying to shimmy it back. I don't know. I think it was like here. I said it. So what we were doing, my what I said on Friday was basically we're gonna come up, find resistance. I think we have a high point somewhere here, which is why we've bounced there. Yeah, there it is on the 27. And I need to find the range. Let me extend these a bit more. There we go. Let's just do 500 on these two. Have it a little bit extended. There we go. So yeah, so something that's pretty much identical to Bitcoin. Like this is kind of identical to Bitcoin in terms of what we've got going on. Apart from the only fact is this is the equilibrium down here for the bounce. So in terms of Bitcoin's resistance there, we could probably go to the 9. I don't have any draw on the 9. Well, let's get this one up then. Can't bother to draw them. I'm just going to do this. I think the line might be too low, though. For the 4 hour, I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be absolutely not bad. To be fair, not bad. Okay, so this was a bit different. It's similar because this is quite a low range, but we can see a good usage regardless. We can see the high point bounce here. We can see we didn't really use the equilibrium, but we saw this low. So we're kind of in two ranges here. We have this high and this low, and then this equilibrium midpoint, which is obviously what makes sense. I have this fair value gap here as well, but I don't really know why that's being paid attention to because it's not in a. It might be in a true range, to be fair, though. I'm not too sure. Let me have a look. Look at the 27. Yeah, to be fair, though. To be fair. So we can kind of see... I mean, if we zoomed in, we'll probably see it better. We've already had kind of this wick into it. Again, I don't really look at fair gaps too much, I'm not gonna lie. Although KB's Creative Gap channels were very nice. I have been reading it over the weekend, and I have been enjoying reading it. So thank you, KB, for sending it to me. But anyway, yeah, they're good, but sometimes you can wick into them. This was not bad, to be fair. This had like a really nice. But sometimes with fair value gaps, it's like, okay, you can hit the directly off the high point of it. You can hit the midpoint, you can hit the high. It's like all these things. But we have this, I suppose. There you go. If you want that. But like I said, the range we're currently in, it doesn't really show like we've got like super good support, apart from the 9 level, which is on that high. And then, is this rendered? Let me just use mine for now. There we go, so I can see it. Yeah, so this is kind of the same thing. In terms of, we've come a bit lower than it, but obviously my stop loss was towards equilibrium, which I think I used on the 27 in terms of one of the, what was it? What was on the high points? Which one did I use? Was it 243? We've got this support point. I had one of these highs here. I think it was on, I can't remember what range it was on, but it was kind of this like consistent support area. But I didn't want the stop loss to be too wide. I think I remember saying on Solana, you could do it higher if you wanted to, but obviously to the safer side, I think I said I'd put it a bit down into this equilibrium. I think I said I'd put it here. But either way, it doesn't really matter. We haven't hit it, so if you were to trade, obviously you haven't hit it, so it doesn't really matter. But the main point is, we've kind of come below this 81 kind of equilibrium. We're kind of hovering at it. We've not really held it, but on the 9 we're holding. Oh, I forgot. I don't have it drawn. There we go. This is a good indicator, like for them as well. Just search that up, I guess. Yeah, in terms of this case, we are holding very nicely on this low. We have wicked into equilibrium, so I suppose we are using this quite nicely in terms of the 9 levels. These are being used very nicely because technically this is one range. Problem is, it draws. I use the fib tool to draw them, and it's obviously always. I could literally just boom, it's right there. But with this, it takes a while for it to draw. But yeah, like I said, we're actually not in 2 ranges. I read it wrong. We're actually in one main range, which is quite nice. We have these nice areas here, nice low, nice equilibrium. The lines are very small though, and very thin, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, anyway, very nice equilibrium, very nice bounce off it as well. So we kind of have this kind of process. So in terms of Bitcoin, where it had the high point and we're bouncing off equilibrium as support. In this case, we have equilibrium bounce off and a low of support. So very similar to Bitcoin, very, very similar in terms of we have, I've had these, how long have I been streaming for? Like 30-ish minutes. I've had these like weird hiccups. It's really annoying because I don't want to do it into the microphone and like make a really weird sound. But anyway, like I said, very similar to Bitcoin in terms of back's itchy as well, where Bitcoin has the high point and we're bouncing off equilibrium support. Pretty identical here in terms of, because again, the midpoint is the equal distance from the low. So if you're using the equilibrium support and you have a high point as resistance, it's technically the same distance relative to the range as is an equilibrium resistance to a low bounce. So we're basically in a very similar scenario in this case. But to be fair though, this was the high point we saw, which was this high. So we're kind of in one big range here. So it's kind of doubled over for Solana. But in this local scope anyway, we're in this nice range, which is quite equal, which is good. But anyway, holding support and doing highs here. So we're doing pretty well on the lower end of things. We had this fair value gap, I suppose, which we filled, whatever. But we're bouncing off equilibrium. So in terms of very similar to Bitcoin, where we have good support being held and a decently shown resistance point. The only difference with this is that it's not very big as a resistance point. As you can see, it's in between 130, basically $130, basically 50 cents worth of $150, which we bounced off here quite nicely as well. But the main idea is this isn't going to be a very big resistance point. It's an important resistance point, but it's not very big. Like, it's not a big area, so I think getting above it's going to be decently easy to do. This is a very nice low point though. We're using it very nicely. Purple line got nowhere near it, doing really well there. I think we're going to have that process going back upwards for Solana as well. So very similar to Bitcoin. My thought process is very similar. Obviously, quite nice. I suppose we filled this fair value gap, and now we're coming back upwards now. But we have this fair value gap, which we technically have touched, but we haven't maybe completed it. Maybe we're coming back up into it. Maybe we go to 132. Maybe we come back down to equilibrium or something. I don't know. There's this whole process you can do. I don't want to have this anymore though. I want to go back to the 27 quickly. Well, no, the 81 actually with the equilibrium. There we go. So yeah, very similar to here. Like I was saying, so we have this we have this like $134 fair value gap. Well, obviously we can maybe fill it and then come back down to support here. And then have our process upwards. We have the high point again to remember, so we might see resistance there, but we've already had main resistance. So if we can have that wick upwards and purple line, which might be, let's say here, I don't know where it is exactly. It's here actually. Oh, we've been bouncing below the purple line even. So yeah, again, like I said, in terms of when I was talking about the purple line being part of this range, it's quite confusing to look at actually on the purple line being part of this range and not that range above it, meaning we can use the purple line, which is here, as a resistance point. So, but again, it's not like we're bouncing truly off this high, we're bouncing off the purple line. So I think getting above this would be quite easy to do, considering how strong we were trying to push above it. So I think maybe we have this gap, then the bounce off 128 equilibrium, continue onwards, obviously have this high point. If we surpass this, get towards this extension, then we've got $140. But again, this is like really low range. I'd rather look at a higher range and where the equilibriums are for that. And I believe the next one is, obviously we have this high point we're bouncing off, but I think was it this range which has equilibrium. Yeah, we have 143. That's the next one I've got. But obviously we have these equilibriums. So I think what I said on Friday was we'll probably see a bit of resistance, probably prints at $143. I think we could probably maybe wick up above it. You know, I think the main print will be below it. I think we'll have wick up above it. So I think my final area would be about $150 where this 27 equilibrium is. Here, you can see this equilibrium here. I think that's my main point next for Solana. Because obviously we do have the 143. We can see we've kind of come above it, below it quite easily. We've kind of used its support decently. So I do think it's an area we can get past pretty easily. So I think the next step would for me would rather be $150. We also have kind of these kind of this kind of area of highs here. Maybe if I draw a little rectangle or something, it'd be a bit better. Yeah, so we have this high up here. That's our previous high. So maybe we can wick up above it. You know, we have these highs coming down, and maybe have this kind of come above it. So we might be able to go a little bit higher. But my price anyway is $150.50. So I'm still holding on to this. Again, I have two streams. I talk about this a lot. I have kind of two types of streams. I've got ones where a lot of new stuff happens and I have a lot to talk about and I have a lot to cover, or I have streams where I'm kind of reiterating things I've already talked about, kind of looking over maybe some new things, but majoritively just going over things I've already looked at and kind of comparing what I've already said, which I think is today one of today's streams, which is I've already talked about this movement. I think we are going to have this movement eventually. I think we are having the lows I think we're having now are going to be the lows we're having, not full stop, never say never, but kind of full stop for the moment. I think these are the lows we're having. I think we're going to go a lot higher than where we are right now, quite soon. So yeah, I mean, again, not financial advice, but even for long term, I think is a great time to get in right now. Relative to where we were, $114-ish, $127, quite close in the range, comparable to where we've been from like $200 as well. This is a nice low. I think we'll steadily go back upwards towards these breakup blocks and whatnots up here. So yeah, I think. But anyway, for the Solana movement anyway, it's going to be about $150. We have these support points like I've already shown with these areas down here. I've already talked about these lows, and to be fair, we'd also have this high on the 27 which we're using as well, because again, everything kind of cascades a bit, but the main area we have is this equilibrium on this lower range, but we have this main support area which we're kind of hovering at, so we might go a tiny bit lower, but my main thing is this. At least we have $124, but yeah, anyway, $143, $150 main areas up here for sure. And then yeah, there's areas like 138, which will be the extension line, which will give us a bit of difficulty in terms of we have to get above it and print it. Yeah, there is areas like that, but for me, I don't think it's gonna give us too much hassle. I think we're gonna go kind of straight up, not in a straight line, but I think in the movement we're having right now, I think we're gonna have a nice movement upwards for Solana. So yeah, I guess we'll wait. Now, I don't have a lot to talk about. What I might do, I'll go on a higher time frame for Solana, like I did with Bitcoin, because I don't want to spend 22 minutes on Ethereum, personally. I suppose I can kind of look at the weekly. We have this nice, I mean, the Solana weekly, or monthly, sorry, is really nice with this range. You can see really nice bounces off this equilibrium here. And then obviously this high point at 243, which is obviously, this is the main range of Solana. This kind of $0 to $243 dollars. Again, 243 has been a major area previously for Solana, and obviously was a prime area, basically the start of the year. So I think this equilibrium has already been an area, but the good part about what we've done now is instead of us coming from it and then finding resistance at equilibrium and then coming down to some of these lower areas, which is crazy. Actually, look at the chat. He's saying hello. Chinny, hello to you. Welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Okay, so I took along on Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing should be taking longs right now. Like I said, we had our retracements to the main areas, like the equilibriums, like I've shown in Solana, and I will show in Ethereum in a minute. We've had our retracements to the rough entry prices of what I was talking about on Friday. So I think now is a good time to get in. Not financial advice, because what I talked about on Friday has happened. So obviously good news for me in terms of what I'm thinking. Surely it does come from here, which I think it will do. I think it will come up from here. So yeah, makes sense. Yeah, a long right now is a good thing to be placing. Not financial advice, personal opinion. But the good thing about Solana on this range is we've had. Last time we had this kind of movement from this high to equilibriums, we had a flip of it and we found resistance and then we dumped. We were using this really nicely. What I do want to do though is look at the higher range up here, because this is kind of like the massive one, where we have kind of this low area. We have this massive support area, and now we're coming slowly up towards equilibrium. So I think next stops, like I'd already shown with Bitcoin with 125k, 118k areas. I definitely think $298, $300 is going to be a massive resistance area, which was, I think it already wasn't it though? Oh no, it nearly was. I think $300, 344. These are going to be big resistance areas, like kind of no-brainer for me personally. This is fair value gap area, liquidity void. Yes, this isn't like an important area, but in here though. Is breaker blocks. So if we have that kind of this, we do have some support areas, I suppose. I don't really care about it though, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really care about it, so I'm not really gonna pay too much attention to that. I think the main one I want to look at on the higher ranges is going to be this main 243. But yeah, this is on the monthly, like I said. So I think looking at what we've done now, again, we had a long period of time where we were just sitting here, between March and September, we're kind of just sitting. Obviously, we had our moments going to 209. We had our just main area down here. Then we had this obviously massive, move upwards, found resistance, come down. I think we're gonna have this bounce again, which will happen over a while, maybe a candle, coming into next month and whatnot. Obviously, we had this massive dump, nice support. Where's next? You know what I'm saying? From the monthly anyway. Again, if we look at the weekly, it's kind of the same story, just in a bit more detail with these bounces coming upwards. We have this really lovely kind of print off of roughly about 129 coming upwards towards this area, and then this wick towards $114, which is this low of this equilibrium, like I said. So I think this is kind of the arc we've got going on. So like I said, I think these are the lows we're going to see for a while now. I think we're going to have our slow, steady move back upwards for Solana, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, and whatnot. So 18 minutes, I'm going to go to Ethereum. However, I do see some comments by KB, so actually I'll read the comments first. Patiently waiting for a retest of the weekly candle high at 81.7. Then we liquidate the hyper liquid whale. Yeah, I mean, let me go back to it. What I'll probably do, I'll probably look at Ethereum. I can go back to Bitcoin and have a little look at the prices. I do have a new range, to be fair. I do have a new profile with just the indicator for the LGCs and whatnot. So I could maybe have a look at it. I'll look at Ethereum first though, quickly, and talk about what I'm thinking, and then I'll go back to Bitcoin and have a look, just a final look at it. Although I already had a final look at it, I'll have another final look at it, then we can continue from there. So I don't know why I'm on the weekly. It's a very ugly chart, this is. Well, why have I drawn this? What did I draw this for? Oh, right, yeah. Order block? I don't care about it. I'm just gonna delete it. It's ugly. It's annoying me. It's ugly as well. Oh no, to be fair, that is part of the trade though. I think these are some equilibriums or highs. I'm gonna delete them. I don't like the way they look on the screen, so I'm gonna get rid of all this. You already know, you've already seen the charts. Very similar process. I think we had a high somewhere. Yeah, there you go, 243. So again, very similar to Bitcoin's case, kind of. We haven't come down to this equilibrium per se. I don't know if I've got an 81 for Ethereum. Don't know how low it would look though. Oh, never mind. Solana, though, to be fair, very similar to Solana, had the high equilibrium support at the low, and then we came up, and now we're past equilibrium. So we're kind of coming back upwards. But again, this range is ugly as hell, so let's get rid of it though, because I don't want that on my screen. But anyway, yeah, the main concept for me is this kind of support off equilibrium and continue onwards. Let me go to 2187 though, because yeah, this one we've found resistance to the purple line, because this is what I was talking about on Friday, and while I was like, oh, this is really bad, we're not going to do well, this is really not good for us, was this kind of purple line print, and the fact that we're now in between 2187 and $0, which I don't think we're going to hit $0. Again, I've already talked about this on Friday. You know, this might look really bad, but realistically, sorry, this is not gone. This kind of hiccup thing for the entire stream. Completely breaking my stream. Anyway, I said on Friday as well, like, this isn't, even though this is a bad thing, I don't think it's going to be, oh, we're never going to go up for Ethereum. I think to pay attention to market context and kind of what the market should be doing relatively soon and in the coming weeks and whatever, is going to be going upwards. So I don't think this is going to stop us from doing that. I just think, obviously, like I said in the intro, I think Ethereum just has more areas above it of difficulty. I just think it's going to have more of a harder time getting higher faster. I think it's going to get to its high points. I just think it's going to be harder to get to those points in the same kind of process and speed and kind of tempo that everything else is doing. So yeah, that's just kind of my opinion there. But again, you can look at this and go, okay, cool, we've got this kind of these kind of highs, or we had these lows, and then we're going to kind of dump, and then we're going to come up, or we've got this kind of thing going on. We're going to come up again, back towards 2187. We've got this order block as well, resistance. We've got many areas. 6561 though, I don't really know if I've looked at this. It's kind of this equilibrium. Again, I've already talked about these areas though, with like 2187 kind of equilibriums. All these areas, I can't really be asked to look at it right now though, so I'm gonna go back down though quickly. 241, 243 even. Yeah, so this is kind of the main process. What we've got, the support point. We had our retracement back towards equilibrium area. We're kind of bouncing, coming back upwards. I think that we've got this kind of resistance area. I don't know how to term it, so I'm just going to call it resistance area, a sell area, whatever you want to call it, in between this kind of 2000 area. I think this is also an important area. Yeah, this is also an equilibrium point. So this is kind of a matchup of a sell area, and it's also equilibrium. So I do think we will have a bounce off to 2043 minimum. So again, this is going to be a longer process to get to. Obviously stop loss towards the equilibrium area, maybe a bit lower depending on what your ratio wants to be and how long you want to be in a trade for. You could put this lower back towards the purple line. You could maybe put this towards where was it exactly? Maybe the lower the breaker block or something. You can do what you want. It's your life, whatever. But anyway, like I said, again, I'm reiterating the same thing for every coin basically, in terms of I've already talked about it on Friday. I thought this was going to happen. We've come to equilibrium, we're bouncing off this, we're doing that, we're going to come up. It's the same thing over again. I'm kind of just showing it on the representation of each chart. And in this case, is this high at 1943. These lows towards 1841 and whatever, and this support-ish area. Obviously, we came a bit lower than it, but we're still coming up above equilibrium, which is good. Obviously, we had a bit of a slip down below it. Had a nice bounce on the low end of the breaker block, though, which is this massive weekly breaker block, if you do remember. We have this massive area here. We have had multiple bounces and whatnot. But again, it's a support area, and I don't think it's going to keep us lower than it. Lower than it. It's a positive support area. We can come below it. These are order blocks in of themselves, whatever you want to say. But these are support points at the end of the day. So I do think we'll come back up above, 1990, whatever, and find support again. I think this is a temporary visit below this area towards equilibrium. I think we'll come right back upwards. I'm not too concerned for Ethereum. But like I said, we're going to have maybe I could be pleasantly surprised and we'll have a massive pump from here, and it breaks us out of all this difficulty, and then we keep the same process as we do, or keep the same tempo and flow as we do with Bitcoin and Solana, and then forget I said anything about this. But as I see it right now, we do have these areas. But again, I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on to this entry price at 18 whatever it was exactly for the equilibrium. I'm still holding on this to this take profit at 2044. You can take profit at different areas, maybe 1990 for the midpoint. We could see a bit of difficulty there. If you go to some of these lower ranges, you might see some different areas. But realistically, apart from maybe the purple line at 1970, which we probably will have difficulty at, to be fair, it's straight up to 2040, whatever, 2044. So, yeah, all I can really say, I'm just going to go to the monthly, really. I I don't have a lot to say about it, so I'm just going to go to some higher ranges and just see what's going on. I don't like that range. That's a horrible looking range. Actually, I should probably use the realistic range I'm supposed to be using based on the average weekly range and daily range. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go down, aren't I? Yeah, I forgot about that. Does this change based on daily and weekly? No, it doesn't. Good. I'm glad. So 4,000. Sorry, yeah, 4,400. Yeah, it's closer to this. 2,000, and then this is going to be. Yeah, okay, so this one's closer. Good, I'm glad. So this is the true average weekly range we're supposed to be having in between this daily range, which obviously makes sense. I'm not surprised. Again, this one's kind of similar to Solana in terms of, you know, this equilibrium. You know what? I'm gonna draw the bigger range. I'm gonna draw the even bigger range. Oh, what is it? 1 line. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm just going to. I just want to see what some of the potential high points could be and what we're doing. Okay, we had the constant encroachments in this midpoint here, which is pretty nice. We're kind of sitting in this range. We've got this fair value gap. This isn't really, again, this isn't the true range we're supposed to be using on this time frame. Maybe I can go to the monthly though and use it. Again, it's too wide, like 9,000, 10,000 equilibrium. Really, like I'm not using that. So, you know, I'm just gonna go back to this one and sit happily at this area. So, like I said, and then we've got this equilibrium. I don't really have much to say. I do think, again, this is gonna be massive resistance. The amount of times we've come up above this has been very low. We've kind of come straight back down, or we've kind of held support at it, but it's not really been too strong. The main kind of, it's been us mainly being below it. You know, we had this equilibrium, and then we have the wider range of it in these. Oh no, hold on, am I wrong? Nah, okay, good. This equilibrium, these two lines, and then this is the wider rim. So you can see the wider rim at 3876, and this one at 2683. These are kind of the main supports. You can see we've had a bit of resistance at this area. We've had a similar bit here, and then main resistance at this line as well. So it's kind of just been us being below this line. So hopefully we can get above this. I think in this kind of process we've got, the only other time we've been above this kind of main area was this kind of mid point with this massive pump we had, and then we obviously dumped in the market. Again, I'm kind of waffling about Ethereum. I've got 10 minutes left. Let's just go back to Bitcoin. I've already given my updates on what I've already talked about. Ouch! There's a lot of lines here. That is ugly. Let's just use this. Why not? There we go. Right now, perfect. So, from what I hear from KB, patiently wait for a retest of the weekly LGC high. Okay, so the weekly gap. So if I were to go to a weekly, there's probably a massive gap candle, and the high of it is at 81.7. So probably there's probably somewhere back here or somewhere with these high here. Yeah, this one. It's gonna be this one, isn't it? 81. Obviously I have to go to the weekly to see it, but I think within this area is probably a weekly candle, and this higher is roughly about 81.7. So apparently awaiting a test off there. Now, yeah, I mean, to be fair, obviously we have this equilibrium 81.8 kind of area to kind of match up with that. We could, I wouldn't want to see, I really wouldn't want to see that, obviously, but I suppose if we have kind of these lows and then we obviously came below them and then we came up again, it could be a good thing, but I don't know. I mean, the position to be in from this, what would it have been if I were to say it on Friday? What would I would have given? I would have been on this range. Oh no, this range probably. So the long position would have been let me zoom back in again. It would have been about 83.2. If I went to one of the lower ranges though, it would have been within this 81.5 to 82 area, probably within the middle of it. Obviously we had a wick into the middle of it, but I would have probably given 82.2. Again, obviously hindsight, whatever, you know, whatever. It would have been with either 82.6 or 82.2 for this equilibrium here on the lower range. So I wouldn't have given anything at 81.7, but the low probably would have been outside of equilibrium towards maybe the end of this breaker block line, about probably about 80,600. So it would have been still in the range of 81.7. But again, it depends on how high this equilibrium is. But to be fair though, even talking about 81.7, it's still in the range of support of this equilibrium. So, you know, it wouldn't even be outside the realm of possibility. I wouldn't even be surprised if we wicked into it. But as I see it right now, we're staying above 82.6 to 81.5. This kind of main support area, especially even between 81.8 and 82.2. This is the main support area. This is the main support area I think we're going to definitely see at. I think we're going to slowly see this moving upwards. You know, so yes, we might see 81.7. But nah, I mean, again, it's not, even if we did see 81.7, it's not going to be something which is going to break us out of this nice kind of movement we've got going on. The only bad thing would be, we would put a low lower than 82. But realistically, you know, if we just kind of had a quick visit down and then right back upwards, it could just be us kind of coming past the line and then coming right back upwards to do a higher high. So again, you know, what do they call it? Trend line liquidity. Isn't that some of the things people talk about? You know, doesn't people look at this? I haven't looked at it. I don't look at it, but you know, it's something, isn't it? You know, these bounces and then you kind of wick below it and then you come up again. So maybe. Yeah, I mean, I've got, 6 minutes and 13 seconds left. And I've kind of gone over everything. You know, like I said, 20 minutes ago, whatever it was. This is one of the streams where it's kind of me just going over things I've already talked about and kind of predictions or whatever I looked at on Friday. It's kind of me re-updating them and kind of, confirming them today. Because I did some on Friday. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens today because I did think we were going to be doing this sort of movement, finding resistance at the high points and then coming to the camera just flashed at me then. And then coming back towards these support points, obviously in this case equilibrium. So we've done that, and there's not really much else for me to say because I've already given the entirety of the movement on Friday, which was this retracement back towards these support points and then moving back upwards towards arbitrary levels. Bitcoin, I didn't give a prediction. I did it on Solana and Ethereum, but you already know my prices for Solana and Ethereum. Obviously, 2,044 for Ethereum, and then Solana was 150-ish area for one of the potential highs. These are prices which are probably some of the higher levels. There's definitely levels below which we'll see resistance. 1984, whatever it was for Ethereum, is purple line. We'll see resistance there probably. So there's different areas you could take. You can get out or enter, whatever you want to talk, whatever you want to trade if you're doing long or short. But again, like I said, I've already given my predictions and my movements of these of Ethereum, Solana especially, and Bitcoin I've already talked about with 86.8 and equilibriums and whatnot. So I can't do much more than do that. You know what I'm saying? So again, 4 minutes. I'm kind of filling the time here. What can we do in the last 4 minutes? Because again, I don't have much else to talk about in this because, I've given it. Unless there's, what I can do? Because I've got this, because I found this indicator as well, which drew the ranges for me, which makes it my life a lot easier when I'm looking at stuff. I know what I'll do. I want to see Muke. I don't know if we touched the fair value gap. I'm really interested in it. We came really close to this EQ. I don't was this the high of it? Let me. This is the 27 EQ high. We were so close. I know. Let me go to the 9 level. Okay, let me see though. Oh, I forgot about this. The price is just awful. Okay, well, the current for the lower time frames, or coming from the higher time frames, would be this number, which if we extrapolate it upwards, would be the 6561 relative to the price. So if we do 6561 relative to the price, I don't know if we can do relative to the price of this indicator though, to be fair. Oh, we can. We might be able to. We can't, can we? No, we can't. I think there's a thing I can do there, can't I? I don't really use it. I'm kind of just sitting in silent. I don't really use this indicator that much. I think there's something you can do for fractional prices or whatever you want to call it, like where you can do I don't think it's that one. Nah, it's not gonna give me, is it? No. Whatever. Whatever. I can't even look at the 9 though, to be fair. I can look at the 9 apparently. I suppose that works, I guess. What is this? Where are we? Oh, I can't look at the 27. That's all I know. Oh no, maybe I can. Okay, I can. Sorry, I'm kind of just murmuring to myself as I'm working this. I don't use this tool to draw these ranges, but Yeah, I mean, the main point was, you know, if I draw my ranges, which are accounted for with the values in place, in terms of a fractional, it has these lines pretty nicely. So I think we did we come up? We wicked into it here on this line, then we absolutely dumped from it. So I guess we did come to our levels. Main print, we kind of bounced off this area. We didn't quite reach 1591, but I mean, if we look at this magical, I don't even know how this is being drawn. I could have probably talked about equilibrium here, and we would have got a very close line to it. But the main area is either the 20% move down or the 30% move down. We at least got the 20% move down. Like literally, what, 20 fractions of a penny off, which is quite close. And obviously, we're moving up now, hitting off this equilibrium, moving up quite nicely, based off these ranges. So yeah, doing well. I'm glad that happened, I guess. Yeah, there we go. You can see that wick there on this oh so close gap there. Obviously, we didn't come as high as there. I think I was talking about equilibrium. We didn't. I don't know if we touched equilibrium. I think we just touched off the fair value gap, and obviously then we came down from these areas. We did have support at the 9 at this low though, and then it came up towards equilibrium. But then we dumped even more, which was again, I expected the movement downwards. We didn't quite hit there, which is unfortunate. But you know, pretty decent movements. We've got 49 seconds left. So I'm at 82k. Nice. Very good. Let's see. How much would it be for now? Would it be something like this low? Ooh. If it was this low, props to you, man. If it was this low. We could be saying 82.9, and then, you know, maybe it's not as, you know, amazing. But if it's one of these 82k areas, that's a very nice entry, that is. That's like a, wait, hold on. That's a, what the, no. I don't believe that. That's not true. Okay, tell me you long from like down here or something. Tell me you long from somewhere else. There's no way you got that. There's no chance. That is like the most perfect thing. Nuh-uh. I don't believe that. No chance. Anyway, no, actually, the time has gone off. But I want to hear from Kishan, because I want to hear what time did you long at, Kishan? When did you long? Was it Friday or was it Sunday? That's all I need to know. What means if I don't use a straw, I can't drink out of it. But I don't know. I don't feel right drinking like this. Like a little kid. This massive bottle. Kishan, you got to tell me, man. You're leaving me in the dark here. I want to know. There's no chance. No chance you got that. No way. There's no way. There's no chance. I've been left in. I've been blanked. I've been left in the dark. I can't believe it. I'll do my outro then while I wait. Sunday night. No way. That's amazing. Sunday night. So like a 9 p.m. ish. You got an 82k long. Tell me it was like 82.2 or something. There's no way. You know what? No, don't tell me. I believe you. You got 82k. See, the goat of. That's why I call it the goat, Kishan. You got the lowest low we saw. No. Delete the message. Delete the message. No. Delete it quickly before anyone sees it. Pretend. Kishan, pretend. For like a minute then I was amazed. But no, delete it. We'll pretend you got 82k. You got the lowest low since the Friday 5 a.m. The whole 2 days is the lows you saw. So congratulations, Kishan. I'm gonna pretend now he got 82k solely. That was pretty funny. Anyway, I'm gonna do the outro now because, you know, I'm kind of running on thin ice here in terms of actual content. But anyway, yeah. So like I said, those are my. You can, if you missed it, if you've just done stream, one, know what my predictions, my prices, movements. You can go back in the stream. You can see different all the prices. You know what I should do? I think there's something I can do on an app somewhere. I think I can press a button and it adds like a chapter to the stream. I don't know if I know you can do it on Twitch. I don't know if you can do it on YouTube. It'd be really good if I could do that, because then I can kind of chop up the stream for people who want to go watch back and see just the predictions and kind of just see what I'm thinking. I can chop it and then just give predictions in those areas, and then people can watch it. But anyway, if you're just joining or you're watching this back, I know some people watch it back, so shout out to you guys as well. Because obviously I give love to the people in the chat, but you know, if you're just watching on some catch up, can't quite, you know, say hello to you because I can't see you. But again, go back in the stream if you've just joined or whatever. You can go see the predictions. Again, like I said, I've kind of already gone over. All the prices I've already given on Friday, and I've kind of given an update today, obviously, like I said. So there's not really much else to look at. I think by Friday, at least, or I might look at it during the week. I do want to do some more stuff with KB as well. I think that I really enjoyed the stream we did. So I am going to arrange some more stuff with him, hopefully. Maybe do like a Bitcoin show. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But I definitely think having a stream where it's like two people's opinions based on different things, because obviously I'm definitely looking at, and I am looking at it. I read the PDF over the weekend, the one you sent me, KB. But I'll still use the ranges for the streams so I can see, so we can have like an opposing, not an opposing, but a different kind of ranges or whatever, different methodologies or whatever, so people can get their own opinions out of two opposing and or conjoined. But to be fair though, whenever we talk in the chat, it's majoritively the same prices, just with different methods of getting the price. So it's kind of the same thing. But I think a show where we give both our opinions at the same time, and then people can kind of think about it or whatever, will be great for people. So I definitely want to do that. So yeah. Anyway, shout out to KB. Yeah, I'll obviously we'll be streaming on Friday, maybe doing something during the week, whatever. I don't know if we're doing on Wednesday because we've got a storm coming. Like, we've had like storms here, but I think we've got an actual named storm which is like going to be within our area. And the last time the storm happened, the internet kind of cut out in the office, and we couldn't do the stream because we have like 4 projects. We have like a ton of projects in the stream, and we were going to do it's going to be the great stream, and the game's working. It would be so well, and then everything cut out. We couldn't stream because the internet went off. And we tried to stream. We were on 4G, and it just didn't work because it was so laggy. Because like you guys were like 5 minutes behind, and we were just like streaming to nobody basically. So hopefully we can do it Wednesday. If there is a storm though, we will obviously keep you guys posted on that. When there's not a stream, when there's not a storm, sorry, and it's fine, and we can actually connect to the internet, it all works. We will obviously do it then, and I'll obviously be back on Friday for my stream. But I'll talk to KB now. Maybe we'll do something during the week. I'll let you guys know in the Telegram about that. If you're not there already, obviously go to the description wherever you're watching, Binance or YouTube, and you can go there and join it. There's sharp areas, there's chats. We get posted whenever I start my stream, or Mike does his streams. Mike posts whenever he posts a video as well, he'll post it there. So just go to the Telegram. It's a great place. But apart from that, thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you all dearly for being a part of the stream. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully, if you are not celibate, what's the word where you're not drinking? Like, abstaining from alcohol. If you're not abstaining from alcohol, have a nice drink tonight. Or, I wouldn't advise drinking in the morning though, but that is up to you. But to be fair though, it is 5 p.m. I started the stream 5 p.m. my time, and I've got a nice healthy drink next to me. So, hey, it's St. Patrick's Day. Have a nice drink. Have a great rest of the evening, if it is an evening, or have a great rest of the morning. I wouldn't advise putting whiskey in your coffee. If you are driving especially, don't do that. But obviously, it's your life. Do what you want. So thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you all. I'll keep you guys posted in the Telegram. If you want any charts covering, I'll do it in the Telegram if you just message it there. And I think that's about it, really. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining. Appreciate you all. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Come on, Fitzy.
you